All right. All right. NHL Trade Deadline. What's going on, guys? Okay. Tweeted that out. John, what's going on, man? How are you? What's up? Chana, what's up? What's going on, guys? Just trying to get everything situated at first, and then we'll jump right into some trades. We'll also talk a little bit about last night's Ranger game. Just talked about a little bit about that on the channel. Last video posted if you guys want to go check that out. But I am going to just get everything set up here. On this left screen, obviously, you see the trade deadline board, courtesy of Cap Friendly. These are the most recent trades in the NHL. We have about an hour and 12 minutes. So basically what I'm doing here on live is going to be talking about a lot of the trades. I'm going to put the chat on the screen as well so we can talk about it. I have to get that set up as well. And then we're just going to go through most of these trades. Look at, which teams are buying, which teams are selling, which teams are kind of in the middle. This is a big trade here by the Penguins they made a couple days ago. I'm sure we'll talk about that. Vladislav Namestnikov, who was traded to San Jose, was actually just flipped. So we're going to be talking about a lot of things. I'm going to actually scroll back so we could talk. Where am I up to? I guess we can talk about the Nhl trade. Actually, what I really want to first talk about is this trade. We'll talk about this trade. VQ Kyle, what's going on? Stayed up, watched the reaction video. Thank you, Chana. Appreciate that. Was at the Philly game yesterday. Oh, Wednesday. It was awesome. Very cool. Awesome. Hope you had a good time. I really thought the Rangers would win. Yeah, me too. Last time was a tough loss, but, tomorrow's another day. Okay. Real quick, also, I just want to make sure. Okay, so let's talk about this Hathaway-Orlov trade from the Capitals to the Bruins. We're going to start off right away with this trade. Again, the Minnesota Wild utilizing their cap space. They acquire Orlov's contract and half it. They hang on to about $2.5 million. They get a 5th-round pick from Boston. We've seen Billy Guerin do that before. He did it again, utilizing his cap space. The Bruins acquire Hathaway, Svechnikov, and Dmitry Orlov. So a huge deal for the Bruins. They're obviously all in. Garnet and Hathaway provide some depth on the wing for the Bruins, and Dmitry Orlov has already had a very good start as a Boston Bruin. He's got a few goals. He is a very key piece for them on the back end, so that's huge for them. The Capitals trying to retool on the fly. They get Andrei Svechnikov from the Bruins. I guess maybe they sent him to... Maybe Minnesota sent him to... Oh, wait a minute. Capitals acquire Svechnikov from Minnesota. Oh, so from Washington. Very weird. I'm confused on where Svechnikov went and came from. But anyway, the Capitals are trying to retool on the fly. They get Craig Smith. Not sure how much of a boost that is to their center depth. But they get a 1st-round pick, a 2nd-round pick, and a 3rd-round pick. And also get Svechnikov. So we'll see what ends up happening for the Bruins. I'm sorry, for the Capitals. But I love the trade for the Bruins. I do. I think Don Sweeney's all in. So I think the Bruins are looking to make a splash. Obviously. Amar, what's going on? John, what's up? These playoffs are about to be insane. Yes, they will be. Yes, they will be. I can't watch the Boston game. Can you post a reaction game, please? Of course, I'll post a reaction video of that game tomorrow. Of course. We have this Nikita Zaitsev trade as well to the Chicago Blackhawks, and Ottawa did not want anything in return. They finally get rid of Zaitsev's contract. Because Chicago takes on all of his $4.5 million contract, they get a 2nd-round pick and a 4th-round pick to do so. So that's a very good move by the Blackhawks. I think they are not in contention. They don't need money. They need draft picks. So a 2023 2nd-round pick from Ottawa is a great draft pick choice by the Blackhawks. And underneath here, obviously, we had that Gauthier trade we talked about. And then obviously we talked about that trade as well. So now we'll move on to the Arizona Coyotes, and what are they doing? What are the Coyotes doing? We'll talk about this real quick. Look at their last few trades, and what really are they doing? So this trade was made yesterday. So was this one, but we're going to take a look now. Which trades? Okay, so we'll start from here. On February 22nd, they acquire Shea Weber. All of his $7 million gets put on the books for the Coyotes. They only get a 5th-round pick for doing that. But now they're able to get to the floor more easily so they can trade away some of their players. We'll see what happens. They also retain Kane's contract. Again, Arizona really trying to just save as much money or use as much money to save money in a way. You know what I mean? In order for them to trade away their players, their roster players, they're taking these tough contracts where essentially they're not going to be able to get moved. They're literally only going to be used for LTIR. Shea Weber most likely not playing another NHL game. They retain the Kane contract. They retain the Kane contract. They move Gostisbehere's $4.5 million for a third-round pick. As you can see, $7.5 million was taken on. Much easier to move $4.5 million. They actually acquire a first and 2 seconds conditions on that first and second pick for Jacob Chikrin to Ottawa. The Chikrin saga is finally over. I thought they could have gotten a little more for Chikrin, but $4.5 million to Ottawa. Like I said, a conditional first, a conditional second, and with all the Chikrin drama, I actually can't believe they only got that back. Jacob Voracek's full contract. He might be retiring from the NHL soon due to injury, and the Coyotes do it again. They acquire Voracek's contract at 8.2 for a 6th-round pick, and they give up John Gillies. And obviously, they traded Mick Bukestad to the Edmonton Oilers. They retained half of his contract. So, Edmonton's only responsible for $480,000. A couple minor league swaps as well. And Arizona gets a 3rd pick for doing so. So, listen. The Coyotes, maybe they're not a good team. They haven't really been good structure-wise in that organization for a very long time. But they're utilizing some of their LTIR so they can make some moves. And you know what? You got to give it on them. You got to give it good to them. Kulikov to the Penguins. Yes, Amar, saw that. That was a more recent trade. We'll talk about that in a little bit, though. What up, Misa? What's going on? Yeah, I can't imagine being at work at the deadline. Watson not getting a hearing for the dirty hit on Mott last night. Yeah, not too sure why, but what are we going to do? Not too sure why he doesn't get at least a call or maybe a suspension or something. Maybe a fine. Very upset about that, but it is what it is, man. It's the league that we all know that we signed up for. Okay, so we got a lot more coming for you. A lot more coming for you throughout the day. A lot of videos. Obviously, we had the stream. I actually also wanted to maybe see, real quick, if I can look into my... What's up? Good afternoon, Lukey. Good afternoon, Lukey. What's going on? How do I get the... What is it? Like a replay buffer. Replay time seconds. 20 seconds. No. Alright, well, that's not going to work. It's okay. Okay, so let's go through some more of these trades. We got past that Kane one. Oh, the Ekholm one's going to be a good one to talk about. We talked about the Leafs trades there. Marcus Johansson goes to the Minnesota Wild from the Washington Capitals. So the Capitals really look like they don't really think they're going to make the playoffs, which is unfortunate, man, because I thought they played really good defensively this year. It was just their scoring they couldn't find. So it is what it is for the Caps. You got to move on. They're able to get a 3rd-round pick in next year's draft for Marcus Johansson. The Ducks acquire a 2024 3rd-round pick for Henry Thrun. Jesse Puljujarvi saga is over in Edmonton, just like the Vitaly Kravtsov saga in New York. The Hurricanes acquire all $3 million of his contract. Edmonton Oilers acquire Patrick Pusola, an AHL player. Just his signing rights, actually, believe it or not, his signing rights expire at the end of this season. I believe July 1st is when it officially expires, so we'll see if he re-signs with Edmonton. But Edmonton finally got rid of Puljujarvi. We know he's wanted a change of scenery for a while. Unfortunately, he lands in the very tough Metropolitan Division, so it's going to be an absolute bloodbath at Metro, man. Tanner Jeannot, a huge return for Tanner Jeannot. He makes $800,000. Not really too sure why Tampa Bay gave up this much, but I'm not going to say anything other than that because I'll end up eating my own words. They get a 1st-round pick, top 10 protected. It won't be a top 10 pick. So the Predators acquire a 2025 1st-round pick. At least I don't think it will be. A 2024 2nd-round pick, a 2023 3rd-round pick, a 2023 4th-round pick, and a 2023 5th-round pick. It's a great trade by the Predators. I'm not sure if David Poile or Barry Trotz made the trade, but I absolutely love this trade for the Nashville Predators. Jeannot's a very tough guy, and he could end up very well be a very good playoff performer for the Tampa Bay Lightning, but the Predators look like they're taking a step back right now as they traded Nino Niederreiter to the Winnipeg Jets. We'll get into that in a little bit as well. So it looks like the Predators are trying to retool. They are going through a change of scenery, changing of the guard, as you may, with Barry Trotz coming in to take place of David Poyle, who was there for 23 years, 25 years now, as the general manager of the Nashville Predators. And we can talk about the Nhl Meyer trade. Let's get to the chat. Do you think the Rangers will do any more trades? I don't think so. I don't think so, Chana. I don't think so. I don't have a good feeling about the Boston game. Bruins will be absolutely amazing this season. I think Kane will score next game. Listen, man, you never know what's going to happen. With 20 games left, Carolina, Rangers, and Devils have 7, 8, 9 hardest schedule left. What do you think the final standings will be in the Metro? The Devils are a point out of the Metro lead. I can easily see the Devils taking that first place in the Metro. I think the Rangers stay where they are. I think they end up staying third, and I think the top 2 spots alternate between Carolina and Jersey, and the Rangers will verse whoever team has the better record of Carolina and Jersey. That's my opinion. Fun fact, Money Puck now have the Rangers and Penguins at the same playoff odds, and the Penguins had a better chance of advancing to the second round. See, that makes no sense to me, considering the Rangers are a much better team than Pittsburgh, and they obviously proved that. They are second in the division, or third in the division, with Pittsburgh barely hanging on to a playoff spot. But I mean, if that all has to do with the game last night, then I think that's unfair. The Rangers had 5 defensemen. They were exhausted. I don't think you should be able to look at that game and be like, that's the real New York Rangers team. That's not the real New York Rangers team. So that's just my opinion on that. All right, let's get into the Devils trade for Nhl Meyer. This puts them, if they already weren't a lock for a potential Stanley Cup championship, as the Devils are, they're looking to definitely make some more moves. And they get Nhl Meyer. Nhl Meyer. They would get his contract half retained. The Sharks acquire a first, second, 4 players, and a 7th round pick. It's a good trade by the Sharks, but I mean, the Devils really wanted Nhl Meyer. They were able to get him. They also acquire 4 other players and a 5th round pick. It's a great trade by the Devils. They're looking to take that next step into becoming a contender. They actually are a contender, if you didn't notice. They could win the Metropolitan Division. I think this is a very good trade for the New Jersey Devils. Nhl Meyer is a bona fide goal scorer, and it's a huge trade for the Devils. Great trade for them. Great trade for them. The Dallas game was good. Ivan Barbashev goes from the Blues to the Golden Knights, a name that the Rangers actually may have been linked to in Ivan Barbashev. They drafted his brother Max a few years ago. So we'll see what happens with the Golden Knights, but Barbashev is now a Golden Knight. They get $2.2 million on the books. The Blues acquire Zach Dean, an AHL player. So Golden Knights are all in it. We can see that, and actually, I think them and Dallas are my favorites in the West. I love this Ivan Barbashev deal. I think this puts their depth at maybe the best in the West. But Max Domi was traded to Dallas, so I think that's a counter move. I really do think that's a counter move for Barbashev going to the Knights. It's a good trade by the Blues. It's a good trade by the Golden Knights as well. Gurianov for Dadonov on the 26th of February was a big trade as well. Dadonov is older. He's looking for that Stanley Cup. Montreal was able to get Gurianov, who's a younger guy. Hasn't had that good of a season, though, this year, Gurianov. He's missed some time twice. 2 separate times he's missed some time. So hopefully Montreal's banking on Gurianov to have a bounce-back year maybe next year or throughout the rest of the regular season this year. Obviously, Nino Niederreiter traded to the Winnipeg Jets for a 2024 second-round pick. Like I said before about the Nashville Predators, it looks like they're turning the page into a new era of hockey. They just signed Nino Niederreiter. I believe it was last season or 2 seasons ago. They just signed him, but now they trade him to Winnipeg. It's a great deal by Winnipeg. Winnipeg gets a player that can play in the playoffs. He's a hard-nosed player. Carolina misses him, man. I'm telling you right now, if Carolina doesn't get over the hump of the second round, maybe even the third round this year, I think they can look back and maybe see that their bottom 6 is a little more offensive minded. I mean, even look at the Rangers. It definitely is more offensive minded, the bottom 6 this year than last year. Carolina's is too, and they don't have Niederreiter anymore, and I think Winnipeg can really benefit from Niederreiter's play in the playoffs, especially if he gets slotted in the bottom 6. So that's my opinion on that. Jack Johnson returns to Colorado for a potential back-to-back reunion. So Chicago gets a draft pick. Chicago gets Andreas Englund in that. So we'll see what other trades have been made. We talked about the Pajari trade. We talked about the Johansson trade. Sandin and Gustafsson. We did that in a video the other day. If you guys did not watch that video, I talked about how the Toronto Maple Leafs were wheeling and dealing. Look at all these trades that they made. I love the moves for that they made, that Dubas made. They are obviously all in. So if you guys want to go take a look at that video, go ahead. Obviously, Matthias Ekholm, like I said before about the Predators, they're turning the page. They get rid of Ekholm. 4% of his contract was retained by Nashville. They also get Tyson Barrie, Reed Schaefer, a 2023 first, and a 2024 fourth from Edmonton. It's a great deal by the Predators. One of my favorites. Ekholm is getting up there in age. He will benefit greatly by being in Edmonton. Edmonton also gets a 6th-round pick. I think it's a great trade for both teams, but I give the win to Nashville on this side. They were able to get rid of Ekholm, $6 million for a 1st-round pick. They also got Tyson Barrie, who could play for them now. So it's a good deal by the Predators. Good deal by the Predators. Gustav Nyquist is hurt, by the way, but he is now a Minnesota Wild. There will be some scrutiny, Gary Bettman said, in some teams acquiring players who are hurt just for LTIR use. I mean, look what the Arizona Coyotes have been doing. But Nyquist, who is currently hurt, gets half of his contract moved to Minnesota. He is a Minnesota Wild for a 5th-round pick. Columbus obviously looking to tank. This is obviously the Kane trade we talked about. Jonathan Quick saga. I did not realize there was a saga going on in LA for Jonathan Quick. He was traded to the Columbus Blue Jackets with a 1st-round pick, a conditional 1st-round pick, and a 3rd-round pick. The Los Angeles Kings acquired Jonas Korpisalo and Vladislav Gavrikov. Gavrikov, obviously we all knew his name, swirling around rumors over the last couple weeks. He gets traded to the Los Angeles Kings along with his buddy Jonas Korpisalo. I'm not sure if Phoenix Copley's the #1 goalie. That's why Jonas Korpisalo move here gets made. It's a good move by the Kings, but they traded Jonathan Quick. You know, a guy who's been on this team. He's helped them win championships. They did him a little dirty on that, but it looks like he's going to be in contention to maybe win another Stanley Cup again, as his contract is then traded, if I can find it, to the Vegas Golden Knights from Columbus in exchange for Michael Hutchison, a 7th-round pick. They retain half of his contract, and the Golden Knights get a #1 goalie, a Jonathan Quick. He has not played like a #1 goalie for quite some time. I believe the Golden Knights are going to try to bank on maybe him playing as well as he used to. So, but now he's back in the Pacific Division, and if I'm the Kings, I'm scared. If I'm the Los Angeles Kings, I'm scared because we just did Jonathan Quick wrong. We did. And now we might have to go up against him in round 1, maybe round 2. So we'll see what happens. But I love that Jonathan Quick is now back in the Pacific Division. It only took them, what, a day or 2 to flip? It was only a day to flip Quick's contract. And it's a great deal by the Columbus Blue Jackets. They get a 1st, a 3rd. They get rid of Gavrikov and Korpisalo, and then they also get a goalie who can play for them for the rest of the season, Michael Hutchison. It's a great deal by them. So if we scroll down a little bit, it looks like no breaking trades except for the Lazar one. That was this morning. We already knew about that for the Devils. We'll get into that in a little bit as well. Right now it is 2:03. We're less than an hour out of the trade deadline. So let's see what else did we miss. We could talk about some more trades. Lars Eller provides some depth for the Colorado Avalanche. Again, it looks like the Capitals are selling. 2nd-round pick in 2025. Lars Eller gets 31% of his contract retained, and Colorado is looking to make a better run. Colorado's looking to make a run. They haven't been playing better lately. But this season overall has been a little more injury-riddled for them. Hasn't been as dominant as they were last year. They're also not as deep as they were last year. But getting Lars Eller, a proven playoff champion. What happened with Burakovsky? They got him, proven playoff champion with Washington. So again, they make a deal. It's a great trade by Colorado. Center depth as well. A very good center, Lars Eller. Now, this trade makes absolutely 0 sense to me. It makes 0 sense. The Detroit Red Wings acquire a 1st-round pick. It's the Islanders' 1st-round pick. There are conditions on that pick. And a 23 2nd-round pick in exchange for Filip Hronek and a 2023 4th-round pick. Stevie Yzerman, great trade. As for the Canucks, Patrick Alvin, I thought it was freaking, what's his name before? Oh, I almost said the wrong name. That would have been bad. Where is it? But Patrick Alvin, what are you doing? Because the Canucks stink. I'm sorry, but the Canucks are terrible. The Canucks are not a good hockey team. Sure, they've been playing okay under Tocchet, but they're not a good hockey team. They get a 1st-round pick from the Horvat trade, and that's most likely going to be a high pick. Who knows where the Islanders are going to finish? I have no idea. It could be a 10 to 20 pick, but now it's in Detroit. Why? You don't need Hronek this year. What are you doing? Stupid trade by the Canucks. They get 4.4 on the books. They get a 4th-round pick included. Very stupid trade. I did not like this trade at all by the Canucks. I don't think Hronek belongs there at all. So, whatever. But Hronek, I thought he was going to go to a contender. Goes to Vancouver. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't like the trade at all. I don't like the trade at all. Joseph, what's going on? Why can't you throw in a Wolfpack player to the Rangers? Because the league essentially blocked it because if you watch the last video I just uploaded about the Rangers recap against Ottawa, I explained in that video they were denied a call-up because they were able to call up a player the other day. Before they wanted to get the Patrick Kane deal done, they needed to accrue more money. The less players you have on your roster, you get more money essentially towards the deadline. It's all, I don't know the exact number, it's all mathematics. Most of the league knows how to maneuver around that. So you got the Rangers now eligible to call up a player with some cap space because they didn't need to go suit up shorthanded the other night. That's why they were denied, because they wanted to go bring up a player. They could have done it already. They did not, so they got blocked. You know, it's very weird. I mean, this year especially is showing why the NHL needs to do something with the salary cap to try to change it, because there are just way too many difficult maneuvering in order to get trades done. It makes no sense. What happened with Schneider? Nothing. He's good to go. He played last night. He'll play again tomorrow too. So yeah. See if I check my phone real quick. Check my messages. Okay. Vladislav Namestnikov, like I said, he was traded to the San Jose Sharks, and then he was flipped just about an hour and a half ago to the Winnipeg Jets, so a little more depth for the Jets as well. Sharks to get a 4th-round pick for that. Where else are we talking? All right, Andres Bork gets a change of scenery. He gets sent to Chicago for future considerations. Anton Khudobin to the Chicago Blackhawks, moving some money around for the Stars in order for them to acquire Domi. Like I said before, I think Dallas gets Domi because Barbashev maybe went to Vegas. Maybe Dallas was involved in Barbashev, but unfortunately not able to get them. All it really costed Dallas was a 2nd-round pick next year, and obviously Khudobin, who hasn't been playing for them, goes to Chicago. And obviously, I believe Dylan Wells may be an NHL goaltender, so the goaltenders, they keep that consistent on the roster for Dallas, and they obviously get Max Domi, who's going to be a depth piece for them. All right, so this was today. So these are all the trades from today, everything up. So guys, if you guys are still here, please leave a like. Really would appreciate that. Can't wait for Keith and Lindy to come back. Need them to come back. Okay, so let's start off with the Detroit Red Wings making another move. They get Dylan McLaughlin and a 2025 7th-round pick in exchange for Jacob Vrana. Vrana was traded to the Red Wings a couple seasons ago for Anthony Mantha. He is now traded to the Blues at half. Great trade for the Blues. Love this for the Blues. Vrana wanted a change of scenery. He was getting sent up and down between Grand Rapids and Detroit, so I'm not really too sure what was going on. I know he was just recently in the Players Assistance Program, so I'm hoping he got better, and I'm hoping, maybe the change of scenery can better him as well. Obviously, above that, Curtis Lazar, $1 million cap hit, goes to the New Jersey Devils in exchange for a 4th-round pick. Some very good depth for the Devils. He wasn't the best choice for the Devils. The Devils might not be done, but now they're able to get some depth as well for Lazar and bringing Lazar in. And Brendan Lemieux is back in the Metropolitan Division. A lot of people have not even seen this trade yet. He was traded for Zach McEwen, including a 5th-round pick for the Flyers. Brendan Lemieux, we all know what he can do. He's a physical guy. He was not playing good at all with the LA Kings, and the Kings right now are looking to make a playoff push. They get a more established tough guy in Zach McEwen than Brendan Lemieux. Lemieux's a little bit younger. Lemieux was really drafted in the 1st round. We all know that he was a physical guy, but I think a lot of teams are still trying to maybe see if he has some physical offensive upside. So the Flyers are going to take a chance at him, but let me tell you, I don't know if the Rangers play the Flyers again, but that could be a bloodbath with Lemieux and Tortorella. Lemieux fits perfectly under Tortorella. Looks like we got a minor league tier deal between the Kings and the Montreal Canadiens, and we got the Montreal Canadiens making a 3-team deal. The Penguins get back legend Nick Bonino at half from San Jose, but he goes to Montreal first, so they can half it for him. So they get Tony Snud, a 5th-round pick for doing the Pittsburgh Penguins a favor, and the Sharks acquire Henriksen, a 7th and a 5th for Bonino. It's a good deal for the Penguins, only $1 million for Nick Bonino, who we know has had a very, very successful playoff run in the past with the Pittsburgh Penguins. A familiar face for Crosby, provides some center depth, and we all know Pittsburgh's depth has not been good at all this year. The third and fourth line have been really bad. It's a huge deal by the Penguins, in my opinion. They get Nick Bonino, and honestly, they made a trade earlier yesterday for Michael Granlund as well, so they're really trying to bolster their depth. I'm sorry, the trade was 2 days ago. So they're really trying to bolster their center depth and their wing depth as well. They didn't want Teddy Blueger anymore. Vegas takes on Teddy Blueger in exchange for a third-round pick. Then the trade was made for Granlund. Let's look at the Penguins real quick. They are right now at $198,000. They revamped their bottom six, and yet they still have some money left over. It's a very good job by Ron Hextall. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure if the Penguins are good enough to make the playoffs, but they just don't know how to lose. They don't know how to lose. So somehow, no matter what, by the way, and I love every single trade the Penguins have made so far. I love the Granlund acquisition, and I love the Bonino familiarity acquisition. He's played so well with Pittsburgh before. I love the trade. Do they have enough to get over the top? Do they have enough to make the playoffs? We'll see. But I love that they're still trying. And same with the Caps. The Caps are selling more than they're buying. So I love that the Penguins are trying to buy to make sure, Sid and Malkin are happy. Flew to Carolina for Game 7 last year. Awesome. Excited to see what all happens at this year's deadline. As am I, Estrin. DJ, what's going on? Penguin fan here. Always like the Rangers. Grew up in New York, but live in Pittsburgh. Nothing but love, Saps. Love back, DJ. Thanks for supporting, man. Appreciate that. I appreciate that. Okay, so it looks like no other trades have been made as we refresh this page. Yes. So no trades have been made yet. So that was pretty good. Half an hour. Talked about it. Almost every single major trade. I'm going to take a quick break just to, calm down. About 5 minutes. If you are enjoying the stream, please remember to leave a like. I really would appreciate that. And yeah, we'll be right back. Enjoy some of this music.
Versace on my wrist, baby, make a wish. You could sell your Rari, but you can't afford my outfit. Versace on my wrist, baby, make a wish. You could sell your Rari, but you can't afford my outfit. Versace on my wrist, baby, make a wish. You could sell your Rari, but you can't afford my outfit. Versace on my wrist, baby, make a wish. You could sell your Rari, but you can't.
Okay, what up? Okay, let's see if we got, I mean, we obviously have no trades yet, but what I would like to do really quick is just take a quick second and make sure we're good. Okay, nice. I just gotta turn the desktop volume off. I'm gonna play a video for myself really quick. I just want to make sure that nothing gets copyrighted. Obviously, I just want to watch and listen to something really quick. The trade isn't official yet, but Kulikov is going to the Penguins. I just have not gotten the official trade yet, so we can't see that. Obviously, but I love that trade once again for the Penguins. Some defensive depth this time. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, once we get that those trade details, I'll give it to you guys. But let me just talk about real quick. So last night's Ranger game, the reaction video is up. If you guys did not, go check that out. They lose 5-3 over the Ottawa Senators. Yeah, not a great game by the Rangers. Defensively, especially, was not good. So hopefully tomorrow against a good Boston Bruins team, they gotta be better. They gotta be better. So yeah. What are you guys up to? How you guys doing? What are you guys up to on this Friday afternoon? Odd thing, but been a hockey fan since 12 and still to this day don't understand how cap and how it works. Esther, neither do I. I mean, I've been a fan since the cap has been instated, and I don't know. It's very confusing. Capfriendly.com, that's the website we're currently using right now to look at all these trades. Oh, that's not what you want. That's not what I wanted to see. My bad. But anyway, this is the website that we've been using for all the trades. So this is what I usually like to use. Oh, if you can't really see the website name. There it is. Cap Friendly right there. That's what I like to use. in order to try to, teach myself about the salary cap and all that. But it is tough. It is tough. I mostly only really know the Rangers situation because that's really the only team that I'm focusing on, obviously. I kind of make sure that they're good and they're doing all the trades they need to make and they have money. And obviously, recently, it's been absolutely chaos because of all that stuff. So, yeah. But luckily, the Rangers, they have enough money. It looks like they're not going to make another move. So, but we'll see what ends up happening. But yeah, the salary cap itself is just very confusing. Jennifer, what's going on? How you doing? Any news on Lindy? Not yet. Hopefully, we'll learn more about him today. They are traveling today to Boston, so we'll see what happens. But hopefully Lindy can come back. I'm not sure if he'll be back tomorrow. I'm actually going to be in Montreal next week at the Ranger game. At Rangers Canadiens next Thursday or Wednesday. I forgot what day we're leaving. That's why I might be confused. But it is the 8th, I believe. I'm going to be in the building. Or the 9th, I'm going to be in the building. I'm going to be in Montreal, so I'm very excited for that. Hopefully Lindy can be healthy for that. And that will be Keandre Miller's first game after his suspension as well. So, it's good. It's good. I'm good, though, guys. I'm good. How you guys doing? I have to ask, how did you feel about the game last night? I mean, listen, they had 5 D-men. I'm definitely not happy about the result, but I'm not going to, overreact and cry. They had 5 defensemen. They had 11 forwards after the first period. So, listen, I mean, you don't want that to happen again. You don't want that to happen, but it is what it is, so I'm just going to move on. Jealous? Yeah, Chris, I'm so excited, Chris. I am very excited. Supposed to be in Washington a couple weeks ago, but that was unfortunately moved, so I couldn't do that. Yeah. So now we're going to Montreal. Well, that was planned already, Montreal. But yeah, I'm excited. Okay, let me just tweet out the stream. Get some more people in here. How you guys doing, by the way? How you guys doing? Hope everything's good. Okay, very cool, very cool. Minnesota trading Jordan Greenway to the Buffalo Sabres. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a huge trade. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a big, big, big acquisition for the Buffalo Sabres. Okay, so Buffalo's getting Greenway, which is huge for them. I love that for them. Love that for them. He's definitely taken a step back and isn't the player they thought, Minnesota really wanted him to be. But there's still a lot of potential for Jordan Greenway. I love that. He goes now to the Buffalo Sabres, who are looking to make the next step in their rebuild. I mean, their rebuild's done, right? I think it's time to say Buffalo's done. They are now taking the next step. I'm excited for them now to get Jordan Greenway and maybe take the next step into this season. I'm not sure if this trade is for this year, trying to make the playoffs over the next couple weeks. I feel like maybe they should have gotten a little more, like a little bit better of a skillful guy if they wanted to do that. But I love the Greenway acquisition, man. Not too sure what it really is. The return for Minnesota. Interesting. Okay. So, but it looks like Greenway is going. He's got 2 more years, I think they just said, after this upcoming season. Let me just tweet out. NHL Trade Deadline 2023. Okay. Okay, cool. I apologize. 2nd and a 5th to mini? Ooh, okay. So Buffalo essentially does not give up anything on their roster for Jordan Greenway, which is huge. Big for them. I love that for them. Okay, and again, even the Kulikov return hasn't been announced. Oh, the return's been announced, I think. I think it was also draft picks. But it has not been official. Has not been official yet. Thoughts on the Wings? They're right on the cusp of a playoff spot. I really am not too sure why they traded Bertuzzi. I understand why they did, but they just extended Larkin. If I'm Dylan Larkin, I definitely have to be a little upset on how you were basically just telling me like we're going to win, because I doubt Larkin is re-signing in Detroit. If CVY is not going, we're gonna do everything we can this year and in the future to obviously try to make the playoffs and win the Stanley Cup every year. And then the next day you trade Bertuzzi. I don't like that. I didn't like that at all. I didn't think that was a good plan. But listen, Detroit's still on the cusp. They can make the playoffs this year. They also just traded Filip Hronek though, so there's a little hole in your back end. I don't know. I mean, listen, it's never over, because we've seen teams trade away their best players and then what? They go on a 7-game winning streak. We've seen that happen. We've seen teams saying we're going to tank, and then they win 3 or 4 games and they're right back in the playoff picture. We've seen that. I'm not sure if Detroit's going to do that, but moving Hronek and Bertuzzi indicates to me that they're, not really going to try this year, which I'm a little upset for if I'm Larkin. It's Brock McGinn a third for Kulikov? Okay. Well, they waived Brock McGinn the other day. No one picked him up. So, I mean, it makes sense how they had to package him for something. So, McGinn and a third for Kulikov, that's a good trade for Anaheim. I doubt they're going to keep McGinn, or who knows. The year's done but for the Wings. I'm not sure, Steve. There's 20 games left. You never know. We love sports. What about Boston? Oh, Boston's the best. Boston's the best team in the NHL. They got Tyler Bertuzzi. We didn't even talk about that trade before, but they got Tyler Bertuzzi in that deal. Right here. It's a first-round pick, a 4th for Tyler Bertuzzi. That's a great deal by the Boston Bruins. The Bruins are loaded. They're loaded. Look at their third or fourth line. There's no better third or fourth line in the NHL. It's insane. The Bruins are crazy good, and they're getting better. Okay, latest on interest for James Van Riemsdyk and Justin Braun. Justin Braun, we all know the Rangers were the destination for Justin Braun last year. After acquiring Mikkola, doesn't look like he's going to come back. He still is with the Philadelphia Flyers, as is James Van Riemsdyk. Expect both of those two to be traded in about 38 minutes. Let me tell you. Oh, the camera's a little high. Let me tell you. This is a very, very strange trade deadline, because a few years ago, I think it was last year, we saw barely any trades on the deadline, around the deadline, and now all of a sudden, around the deadline, there were so many trades, and today it's kind of been quiet, which is usually how it's been recently. But man, let me tell you, this is crazy. Not a lot of trades today. And that's why I also started the stream later. Usually, I would start the stream around 10 o'clock and cover the whole day. But I learned my lesson from last year, and I decided to start a little later. We've only been streaming for 40 minutes, and there's a half hour till the deadline. It's perfect. I would love McGinn on the Rangers. He's a hard-working bottom 6 guy. Cap hit is tough. Okay, Adrian. I was watching last night's game while DMing Dungeons and Dragons game. Had a look at Vlad's goal. It was a beautiful goal, Estrin. Beautiful goal. Matthew, JVR to Vegas, in your opinion? I could see that. I think they solidified their depth on the wing with Barbashev, but I can definitely see James Van Riemsdyk going there. I think he could be a good fit there. My thoughts on Austin Matthews. Yeah, Matthews. Yeah, no, yeah, he's been really good. Obviously, the best player in the NHL last year. He changed his game this year, and it is maybe the best thing ever for the Leafs. The reason why the Leafs are, I think, going to beat Tampa Bay this year is because of how different Matthews is playing, especially. The whole team is playing a little bit different. Definitely defending in front of their own net. They don't have a great goaltender. They have been getting help from a few different guys this year. But this is the better Leafs team than they have been in a very long time. The best Leafs team that they have been in a long time. I made a video about the Leafs yesterday, if you guys want to go check that out. But Matthews changes his game. Goal scoring takes a hit a little bit. He also has been banged up a little bit this year. But he's blocking shots, man. He's doing the things that you need to do to win in the playoffs. And that's why I think the Leafs definitely take the next step this year and win around. They win around, I think. Power Broker, what's going on? I'm sure the players are tired. A lot of games in the amount of time. Talking about the Rangers, yeah, 100%. Absolutely agree with you. Come playoff time, it's just going to be sad to see any team go down in the first round. Yeah, Ashton, it's crazy. I mean, last year we saw all 8 Eastern Conference teams who made the playoffs all have 100 regular season points. That's never happened before in the game. Can you make the argument and say that the teams going to make the playoffs in the East are better than those teams? I think you say that. So It's going to be crazy to see some of those teams eliminated in the first round this year in the East. Thus, Shesterkin, I think he'll be fine. I think they are purposely giving him less games because he's looked tired. And I even said at the beginning of the season when they got Halak, he was more of a reliable goaltender than Georgiev to play some consistent starts if needed. At the time, obviously. I think that's true to this day still. So, yeah. I think Igor's fine. I think the plan is fine. I think he's going to be fine. If the Rangers play Jersey in the first round, what are your thoughts on the series? Oh, that's going 7 games, Matthew, and it's going to be a bloodbath. That is going 7 games, and it's going to be a bloodbath. Honestly, I know all the other first round series are going to be really good, but if we get Rangers Devils first round, which honestly, at this point, we're not guaranteed because the Devils are still winning games and Carolina's not winning. The Devils could easily win the division, just saying, but if we do get Rangers Devils first round, it's going to be the best first round matchup we see this year, easily. Because it's going 7. Is it me or the Wild's retro jersey fire? They are fire. They are fire. The retro jerseys are fire. Fire. Okay, deadline is in 34 minutes. Let's see. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, so nothing has come through officially still yet. Obviously we talked about some of the guys that were traded throughout the last couple weeks. We obviously talked about the Leafs yesterday as well. A lot of minor league deals. The Washington Capitals have re-signed forward Aube Kubel. 1-year deal, 1.25. So, good deal for them. Good deal for them. Let's go back to this camera so I can go over here. Okay. Beautiful. China, what's going on? All right, so Jordan Greenway to Minnesota, from Minnesota to Buffalo. That looks like it's confirmed. Just don't know what the full return is. Sounds like Detroit is joining Seattle in a push for JVR. Traction developing as of late from Darren Dreger. You know what? Actually, let's full screen this. And you know what? I'm on Twitter. It's not like I'm on something personal. How do I computer? Okay, so Dryden Hunt's getting moved to Calgary. Blue Shirts Daily finds that hilarious. I do as well. But Darren Dreger says Detroit and Seattle making a push for Flyers JVR. I'm wondering if maybe Justin Braun ends up attached to that deal because maybe Philadelphia is running out of time. They want to move JVR and Justin Braun. They might have to end up packaging them together. If they were to do that, Seattle's a better place for that, in my opinion. They would benefit both from JVR's hand-eye coordination on that bottom 6, of course, in Seattle, or maybe even top 6. But they would also benefit from Justin Braun's defensive play as well. But Detroit just traded Filip Hronek. We have no idea where Detroit is going right now. Are they going to retreat? Are they going to push for a playoff spot? I could see Detroit getting Justin Braun and JVR as well. Oh, $9.99 Plush Bro. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. $9.99 from Plush Bro. Saps, you're the best, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, do the Ovi's gonna be Gretzky? Yes. Got a lot of trust in Hayek when... Oh, really? Okay, Estrin. I think you're about the only one who has a lot of trust in Hayek. It's this year's 2nd and next year's 5th. Thank you for the $9.99. Really do appreciate that. So yeah, let's go over. This is Kevin Weeks' baby. Okay. So, looks like the Minnesota Wild get a 2023 second, a 2024 fifth for Greenway, no salary retained, and a free $3 million in the next 2 years. That is once again a fantastic trade by Billy Guerin. I mean, he was a very good hockey player, but he's becoming just as good as a general manager. The way that he is able to move the money around in order to make some of these moves, he's retained a few contracts for teams already this year. It is a great trade by the Minnesota Wild. Once again, a 2nd and a 5th. And guess what? They're going to make the playoffs this year, Minnesota. They're going to be in contention for a Stanley Cup. Isn't that wild? What up, Dad? What up, boss? Little Dom appearance. How you doing? Who was the best Western Hockey League team? If I can think of one. The Camp Blues Blazers. Are they Western or are they Q? I'll go the Camp Blues Blazers, because that was the team that Dylan Garand played for. I think they're W. Maybe they're not. They might be Quebec. I don't know, though. Let's go Yankees, Rangers, Knicks, and Jets. Okay, China. Okay. Okay, so yeah, we see this trade. Good trade for the Minnesota Wild, like I said. I want to get off the screen because of copyright reasoning. Make sure nothing's on it. Oh, beautiful. We'll show this. Okay, so as of from the NHL Network, we have a half hour to the deadline, and these are some of the bigger names still on the board, looking to possibly get moved. James Van Riemsdyk, obviously, very good depth player. Connor Sheary, Pius Suter, who I actually did not know was on the trade block. Nick Ritchie, Austin Watson, who should be facing a suspension right now. And Sean Monahan as well. But Sean Monahan, the thing is with Sean Monahan, I'm pretty sure he's hurt. Pretty sure he's hurt. So I'm not too sure why he would be on this board. Because he's hurt. And I'm pretty sure you're getting scrutinized by Gary Bettman if you're trading for hurt players. Plain and simple. Okay. Let's just see what kind of other trades have been, or anything else that have been talked about. A lot of trades. Okay, so yesterday waivers cleared. Albay Kubel resigned. We talked about that. Minnesota trading Greenway to Buffalo is a great deal. Is Connor Bedard going to the NHL? Yes, he'll be in the NHL next year. I would love to see him with a team like Columbus or Anaheim. Don't want to see him in Arizona or Montreal. That's my opinion. I think the North American game is growing well. I think if you have Bedard in America, the United States, then that can easily take a step forward for the growth of the game in the NHL. I think Bedard needs to be on either Arizona. I mean, Arizona, the thing is with Arizona, are they going to go? Are they going to get a new arena? Is this going to get them to get a new arena if they get Bedard? That's why I kind of lean more towards teams like Anaheim and Columbus and getting Bedard, because I think they can really grow with him. I think they can. I really want to see Bedard in the U.S. I do. I want to see Bedard in the U.S. That's my opinion about that. Okay, so, all right, trade, Cap Friendly has updated a trade, so we will talk about that. Okay, so it's Austin Strand and Chase Prisky. It's just a couple minor league swaps for the Ducks and Sabres, so that's what happens there. Not bad. Not bad, you know. I don't know either of these guys, but this is the fun part about the NHL trade deadline, because not even the real analysts know every single player that's on every single team. So it's fun. You get to look at some of these guys. Let's look at Chase Prisky. Let's see. He's a right defenseman. He is 26 years old, so he's a little bit up there. Maybe a little change of scenery for the Rochester. Go away. What? Come on, man. For the Rochester Americans, he's only played 4 NHL games total, and that was last year for the Panthers. He is where's his height? I want to know how. So he's a 6-foot right defenseman with a right shot. So now the original draft pick to the Capitals, I think that said, right? Original draft pick was, oh no, that's, yeah, Capitals. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So yeah, the Ducks get him, and Austin Strand goes to Buffalo, another right defenseman, same age. Looks like it's just a change of scenery for these two. 6'3", 26 years old. He played more NHL games, around the same amount of points, but this guy's definitely played more NHL games. Thoughts on the Timo Meier trade? Not sure if you said it already. Yeah, we talked about that earlier, MSG Vault. What I'm going to try to do is go back into the stream and try to get clips of all the trades I talked about. But yeah, the Meier trade, love for the Devils, puts them right up there in terms of literally beasts in the East. They are just an electric team right now. I think they've been playing really well. Yeah, and who knows? They might win the division, the Devils. They can win the division. They've been playing really well. So I can absolutely see them winning the Metropolitan Division now. They're only a point behind Carolina, and this Meier trade puts their offense over the top, in my opinion. It's a really good trade. And again, it was such a huge trade. There were so many moving pieces. I don't even want you to, like, I mean, if you're a Devils fan, think about it more, but if you're just like a casual fan, don't think about those extra players too much getting traded. I don't think it means that much. I think they really just wanted a change of scenery for some of those guys. And I think we've seen a lot of those kinds of trades over the last couple weeks. Change of scenery moves, Kravtsov, Verana. We've seen a lot of those trades. So not saying that, you know, those AHL players were traded because of change of scenery, but don't think about it too much. But yeah, great trade by the Devils. And for the Sharks, they get a first-round pick. Do I think McJesus is going to win a Stanley Cup? Not with Edmonton. Not with the Oilers. Okay, we are now, wow, 24 minutes away from the NHL trade deadline. So we'll end up seeing, I mean, listen, the NHL trade deadline, we know it extends after 3 o'clock because of the trade queue getting blocked up. So sometimes trades aren't announced until like 4 or 5 o'clock. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Connor, my man, what's going on? How you doing? How you doing? I hope every single one of you are doing well. My bad. Okay. All right. Best position in hockey or right defenseman? I think a center is a very good position. Center is probably the best because you gotta defend both. You gotta do both sides. You know, you got both sides of the puck you gotta worry about. I think it's good. Dominic, what's going on, man? How you doing? How you doing? We have 23 minutes away from the NHL trade deadline, so oof, I don't know what's gonna happen. We might see some big bombs. We might see. I apologize for that. We might see some big bombs. We might see some more minor league deals. We'll end up seeing what's going on, but yeah, I'm excited. A lot of trades already made today. A lot. We talked about the Bonino trade. I love it for Pittsburgh. Brendan Lemieux goes to the Flyers, so that's a little Metropolitan Division reignite for Lemieux. Lazar to the Devils, Verona to the Blues. So how far do you think the Rangers will go? I feel like they can win the thing. They need to get more physical and step up their team defense. Michael, that's the only thing holding them back. Is their team D and their physicality, I think. Talked about the game a little bit this morning. I talked about last night's game this morning a little bit. Rangers' physicality needs to get up there or they're going to get pushed around, man. I'm not saying personnel-wise they need to go out and get guys because we literally only have 20 more minutes to do that. But I'm saying, like, you can't get pushed around. You can't get pushed around in the playoffs, and that's something that's been happening, at least in my opinion, the last few games I've been seeing from the Rangers. So they need to step up their physicality if they want to go anywhere out of round one. I love you too, Michael. Thanks for supporting, man. I appreciate that. All right, so top UFA defenseman targets. Klingberg's still available. Soucy in Seattle. I'm not sure why they would want to move him. Maybe for a replacement. Dumba, Gudis, Trevor Van Riemsdyk, and Justin Hull. I've heard Trevor Van Riemsdyk is staying in Washington. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but it looks like he's not being moved. I think they tried to, but it's not. They should have won yesterday. Now we face Boston tomorrow. Yep. See what happens, Dominic. I sniped to one top right from the blue line. Your thoughts? That's a snipe show. What do you mean? That's a snipe show. Those are my thoughts. That's a complete snipe show. All right, so let's see what Twitter's saying real quick. See if we got anything. James Van Riemsdyk to the Detroit Red Wings, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news. I'll break it here for you first. Detroit Red Wings have acquired James Van Riemsdyk. So like we just said before, that was in between Seattle and Detroit, it looked like. James Van Riemsdyk is going to be a Detroit Red Wing. We'll see if Justin Braun's in that deal. But yeah, Justin Braun still on the Flyers as of right now, but it looks like James Van Riemsdyk is going to the Detroit Red Wings. Again, obviously not too sure what the full package is, pending physical and trade call, obviously. But we got JVR to the Detroit Red Wings. Huge trade for the Red Wings. What are they doing? What are the Red Wings doing? Well, what are the Red Wings doing? Because they traded away Hronek. Now they get JVR. Are they in it or are they not in it? Are they in it or are they out? I don't know. But I love the trades he's been making, Stevie Yzerman. He's been making some really good trades. As you know, Jaron. Exactly, Jaron. He's been really good. I think he's been good, Jaron. I think he's been really good. I don't know. I think the Hronek trade was great. You got a first-round pick from him, and now you're trading for JVR. Who knows what you got for him, though? You know? Are the Rangers playing on Tuesday? I'm not sure when their Montreal game is. I'll be there, actually. I'll be in Montreal. Humble brag. But, yeah. I'll be there. I'm not sure if it's Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't remember. Or even Thursday. I'm not too sure. Not too sure. But a huge trade now for Detroit. As JVR looks like he's going to... Yeah, the Detroit Red Wings, JVR. His 1 year left at $7 million. He's got 23 points in 41 games this year. Thursday, there you go, Dominic. Thanks for being a beast. He's an L for the Verona treatment and trade. Jacob deserved better. I saw that, and we talked about that earlier, Jalen. I really feel for Verona, man, because he was getting bounced up and down with Grand Rapids and Detroit. He was in the player assistance program, so we hope he's better now. And he's working on himself now. And now he gets traded to St. Louis. You know, hopefully it's a change of scenery, and hopefully it's a positive thing for Verona, you know? Patrick Kane deal. I love the Patrick Kane deal. I love it, man. Hopefully it works out. Where are you going to Montreal? I'm going to Montreal. I'm going to. I'm gonna be 5 minutes away from the Bell Center. So I'm very excited. I would get. We love sports, please. You don't have to give me anything. You being here is all you have to give. Thank you. Oh, and a like, if you will. But you probably already left one. Don't want anyone getting injured for any team. Hope Marchand doesn't play tomorrow. Yeah, I saw that he was injured and he might not play tomorrow. So it would help the Rangers. It would benefit them if Marchand would not play. He played a whopping 9 minutes a game with Detroit. Not much a guy can do with that. Really hope he gets better. Yeah, so it looks like he really... See, I didn't know that about Verona because he's not a 9-minute guy. He's proved to be a pure goal scorer with Washington. And really, man, that's really where his career took a tumble. So I'm hoping he can find his footing again with St. Louis. You make a great point, Jalen. You make a great point. Okay, let's see if we got any more breaking news. We have 19 minutes. Okay, so everyone from waivers cleared yesterday. I'm still trying to figure out the full Greenway deal. It does look like it's a couple draft picks going the other way. But I don't want to put it on, you know. All right, well, here's another minor league deal we can talk about, guys. Scott Reedy for Jacob Peterson. I'm not even gonna go into those two players, but it's the Sharks and Sharks and Stars doing a little swapping of some AHL players. So very nice, very nice. Dryden Hunt, yes, is going to the Calgary Flames. Again, we don't know the return on that yet, but we will find out soon. We will find out soon what the return for Dryden Hunt will be from for the. I mean, who knows? Maybe Kevin Rooney's on the other way out. I can look this up, but what is LTIR or whatever say? So LTIR is basically when the player can put his money on the LTIR. Whenever like a player isn't going to play for a while, you put him in LTIR, you shut him down, you save some money, you save his money essentially up to $10 million. So that's how you can use LTIR. So if you got a guy like, let's just say James Van Riemsdyk makes $7 million a season, if you were to put him on LTIR, you would essentially save $7 million. So you can go out and get a guy who's worth $7 million. It's similar to what, I think there's a few articles on what the Lightning did with Kucherov in order to do it with him. So if you want to look up a little bit more of that, if you want to look more into it, then look into that. Best retro jerseys in the league. This year's Minnesota's. I love this year's Minnesota. The Rangers I loved a lot. They were a much brighter blue. I kind of like that opposed to the darker navy. And even 2 years ago, the reverse retros were not as good as this year's. Not Detroit. Like I said, what was it? Minnesota's. I think Minnesota's at the top. It really, like you said, reverse retro jersey, and the first jersey I thought of was Minnesota's. So I feel like you have to give it to them. He was fourth line every time they brought him up. Played most a few games ago. 9 minutes and some change. Yeah, something way beyond the assistance program issue going on. Yeah, who knows? Maybe Detroit just, send him to St. Louis and hopefully he can find what he's doing. Zadim Zorna from Toronto. Okay. We'll see some of those. Let me go check. Hold on. Let me just answer text. My girlfriend asked me if she left something here, and I don't know where to look for. So, I don't know. Oh, yep, they're right there. Ah! Okay, I apologize for that. Love watching your videos even when the Rangers lose. I appreciate that, Michael. Thank you so much. Hawks did the LTR thing with Kane in 15. I didn't even know that. I don't remember that. Okay, so this is the updated cap friendly still. Scott Reedy and Jacob Peterson, the last trades announced, obviously, and the full trades announced as well. We're going to hop back over to Twitter, see if we got any more on the James Van Riemsdyk deal. So we'll see what happens. JVR likely heading to Detroit, but the deal isn't done as the Red Wings are in the process of moving another player. So it looks like the Detroit Red Wings are trading for another player or maybe trading away another player. And then there's no trade in place from Saravelli. Oh, hold on. Wait, but Drager just said 2 minutes ago the deal isn't done, but he's likely heading to Detroit. And then Saravelli hits him with the deal isn't done. So hold on. JVR might not be heading to Detroit. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. So it looks like no more information on those trades. Okay, obviously everyone from yesterday's waivers cleared. Very nice. Curious on the Caps' future plans. Wings, you're a Caps guy. Wings, your hometown. Very cool, Jalen. Jaren, I'm sorry, I keep calling you Jalen. There's usually a Jalen in here. That's why I apologize for calling you Jalen. But Jaren, okay, so you're a Caps fan. Do you like what's going on with the Caps? It looks like they're selling, but who knows? They could be right back in the next year with all the stuff they're doing this year. You know, that's how I would think about it, at least. Could be wrong, but I like the Jets this year. They're underdogs. The three favorites I have in the West, obviously Colorado, but I'm not going to count them as one of my favorites. Vegas, Dallas, and Winnipeg. Absolutely. Those are my three top teams in the West right now. I love those teams. China, how much longer? We got 14 minutes until the deadline is done. However, we'll probably hear about some more trades after the 3 o'clock deadline. Just how the league works. Okay, so yes. I like the Sandine trade a lot. Oh, me too, yeah. They had a log jam of mid-forward, so moving some guys isn't the worst thing. I think a reset is absolutely needed. No rebuild, retool. No rebuild, just a retool. Need to bring in more guys, though. Yeah, they definitely do. They absolutely do. And they played a very good defensive game this year, the Capitals. They did as last year as well. I think that's the Laviolette factor. The offense has suffered, clearly. So you got to try to find a middle ground. I don't know what the Rangers will do in the future because sheesh, their team is stacked, so I don't know what they will do. Yeah, Michael, it's going to be crazy to see what this team looks like next year even, the Rangers, you know? With all the, the young guys they got to extend, who they going to keep. Greenway to the Sabres, yeah, we saw that. I'm not sure what the full trade is yet. I'm going to wait until show you guys until that is announced. So yeah. All right, let's go through Twitter. Jonathan Quick is already on the ice in Las Vegas. Crazy. Crazy. All right. Buffalo gave the Wild 2 picks. Yeah. I'm sure. I think it was a third and a fifth or a second and a fifth. I just want to wait until the official announcement is announced. Obviously, the official trade is announced. This is why things changing fast on JVR. This is why I didn't want to announce it yet. James, hold on. James Van Riemsdyk might not be going to the Detroit Red Wings here. We might have some absolute chaos changing quickly. They called it too early. Oh, dude, Drager and Saravalli both pulled the trigger too quickly. The trade is not done. The trade is not done for JVR. The trade is not done for JVR. Right here. Hold on. Things changing fast on JVR. So, he might not be on his way to Detroit. We'll keep you guys updated, obviously. But as of right now, James Van Riemsdyk is not a Detroit Red Wing. We have 12 minutes left until the deadline. Your thoughts on the NHL refs? Trash. Trash. Always trash. What's the update with the Wings? Bigger player coming? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's with the Wings yet. We will find out in a few minutes, I'm sure. Okay. I'm thinking he still goes to Detroit. I think he might get flipped. Oh, no, wait. Chris Johnson not getting traded to Detroit. Something happened with JVR in Detroit. Pulled Detroit. Wait, something happened. Whoa, this is crazy. This is what. Something happened from Elliot Friedman. Something happened. JVR and Detroit pulled back from deal. They obviously pulled this tweet out way too early. Every single reporter, and they always do this, they tweet it out way too early. They tweet it out before a deal is even done. They want to be first so bad, and in my opinion, who cares if you're first, bro? Because we're all going to know the information. Who cares if you're first to have something? So weird. These analysts are so weird, and see what happens, they end up, who knows, maybe they butchered the trade. It might have been their fault. Who cares? Unbelievable. Okay. Yeah, Watson, no punishment for that. Yeah, 3 first-round picks if they're not traded now. Detroit doesn't make the playoffs anyway. Yeah, but I mean, what are the moves that they're making? Very confusing. They traded away Hronik, and then apparently they were going to acquire JVR, so it didn't really look like what direction they were going in. So now we'll see what happens. My source is myself, and I confirm something happened, Richard. Absolutely. Hockey insiders are the worst out of any sport. I mean, Saravelli's the worst. Saravelli ruined the expansion draft and the NHL draft when I believe Vegas came in. He was tweeting it out the night before. What are you doing? Stupid. What a weirdo. For what? 100,000 followers? You're a weirdo. Fell off since McKenzie retired. You got that right. Can't believe people on Twitter said that wasn't a high hit on Mott last night. Yeah, if you don't think it's a high hit, then you don't know hockey. The Bertuzzi traded Boston. Who were you playing tomorrow? Very true. He ruined both draft expansions. See, I didn't remember the Seattle one, or maybe I am thinking of the Seattle one, and I guess he did ruin both. Yeah, I don't like that at all. I just don't like that at all. All right, 9 minutes until 3 o'clock. 9 minutes until 3 o'clock. Okay, hearing that JVR is being traded, but like every NHL insider ever, I couldn't possibly tell you where. Stay tuned. Hilarious. C. Jeths tweeted that out on Twitter. I gotta give that a favorite. Hilarious. Hey, what's going on, Kat? How you doing? Haley, how are you? How are you? You're very entertaining. Thank you. Watching this live, I'll have my coffee. Haley, I appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying your coffee. Hello to Sweden, Haley. China, what's going on? Kat, how are you doing? Yeah, we're breaking down a lot of trades. We had some James Van Riemsdyk news. Looks like he's not getting traded to Detroit, but it looks like he will be getting traded. But we'll keep that in mind, obviously, and we'll keep you guys updated with that as well. A lot of trades going on. We're in the final 8 minutes now of the NHL trade deadline. This year was so much different. Less suspense with the deadline. Many of the big deals go down weeks in advance. Could that be the new normal going forward? Simon, could be the new normal with how tight teams are to the cap. But you're 100% right. When was the last time we've seen a deadline day this slow? But before, it was hot. You know, the market was hot as it could be. And it was almost like the last week was deadline day. But yeah, you're right. Haley, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thanks for subbing. Who's left to be traded because the Pens took almost everyone off the board, which is too much for the Metro. Yeah, there's still a lot of guys available, I will admit. All right, so something happened with the JVR trade. Let's see what happens. Again, no official trade call on the Greenway deal yet. Obviously, we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. And like I said, I'm not going to, show you guys a trade unless it's completely confirmed. Completely confirmed. So we'll see what happens, though. By saying it's a little rough right now being an Islanders fan, but happy for the Rangers. Yeah, Kat, appreciate that. Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay, so the pick from Detroit, the pick to Detroit from the Wild for Sundqvist. That trade went down too. Okay. So Oscar Sundqvist is in Minnesota? Wait, when did that happen? Am I bugging? I didn't even see that move. Okay. So it's a pick to Detroit for the Wild for Sundqvist. Okay, I'm sorry. I had a tough time reading that because I didn't even know he was moved. Okay, so it looks like that's confirmed. Okay, so Zohorna, Dryden Hunt to the Leafs. I'm sorry, to the Flames for Zohorna. Okay, so it's Hunt to the Leafs. It's Hunt to the Flames for Radim Zohorna to the Flames. To the Leafs. Wow. Okay. Very cool trade. Dryden Hunt, now a Calgary Flame. Okay, I'll give you guys that. Yes, Dominic, yes, you did say that. You did say that, but now it is confirmed, so I'm just going to show you guys. Dryden Hunt to the Calgary Flames in exchange for Radim Zohorna. As of right now, neither of the contracts cost anything because they're both in the AHL, I believe. So, yeah, that's why it's $0 and $0. It's a good move by the Leafs. They get rid of his contract, Hunt, and Zohorna comes in. I'm not even sure if he's... How many games has he played this year in the NHL? 8. Yeah, I was going to say, he hasn't played... I don't remember him playing that much this year. So he's only played 8 NHL games. Who knows? Maybe the Leafs can use him, but they weren't using Dryden Hunt. So that's why Zohorna is now a Toronto Maple Leaf. What do you guys think of the trades? We got 5 minutes left. Haley, is Hunt any good? Dryden Hunt's actually a former New York Ranger. So, he's okay. He's a good bottom 6 guy for maybe a contending team. He's a hard-working player, a hard forechecker. He'll be physical. That's what he can give you. So, but he doesn't really have that much skill, which is unfortunate. Mr. Bean, what's going on, man? How you doing? What are you up to? Okay, so let's see if anything else has been announced. Troy Stetcher is going to Calgary. Okay, so Stetcher, the defenseman, goes from Calgary to Arizona from Elliot Friedman. Okay, so, alright, cool. So Buffalo actually traded away a second-round pick that they got in the Eichel deal for Greenway. So that's a very good trade. Okay. How often do you go live? I mean, Michael, I used to go live before and after every Ranger game. I mean, it's just been a lot of chaos recently, so I haven't been able to do that. We went live yesterday for the first time in a while. I'm going to try to go live as soon as I can. Family's doing good. No way that's all they do today. Stetcher to Calgary. Calgary, yeah, we'll see. I mean, it looks like that might be all they do today. We have 4 minutes left until the final trade call is allowed to be initiated into the queue at NHL headquarters. I think that's what that means. So, I think the Rangers are done, right? I think the Rangers are done. I didn't even mention them today about trades, but I think they're done. I think they're done. Go away. So, we have the NHL trade deadline now with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. Suter should be on the subtraction list for them. Maybe. Oh, Sutter, yeah, maybe. Patty, what's going on? Feels like with the first time selling, teams have sat out players they're trading in Tricker and Kane. Do you see this being the new normal? It makes sense to me. But I feel like it was never a thing. I don't think that ever was a thing, Patty, but my conspiracy with sitting down players is kind of, let's just say I'm Columbus, I sat down Gavrikov for 2 weeks. If you're a team who's interested in Gavrikov, maybe I've already had preliminary discussions with Columbus about Gavrikov. You know, that call obviously did not come to fruition. Nothing resonated from that. You back out, trade deadline's a couple weeks away. Columbus says, hey, screw it. We want to make this trade now. We want to get rid of Gavrikov. We don't want him anymore. We want to try to get as soon as we can a return for him. You sit him down. You threaten him that he won't play. The team wanting to trade for him does not want a guy who's sitting on the bench, right? A guy who's trading for him does not want a guy who hasn't played in 2 weeks. So I think when a player gets sat for precautionary trade reasons, it incentivizes the teams who are interested in that player to try to get a deal done and maybe even overpay because they think some other teams are going to do that as well for that player. You know what I mean? It's a little confusing. The NHL salary cap itself is confusing, but I think that's why players are sitting down. A lot of teams want them to get moved, and it basically incentivizes other teams to try to take a guy right away if they're sitting down for 2 weeks. Michael, I got you. Is your brother still in college? Yeah, he's still up there. He's still up in college, so 1 minute to go in the NHL trade deadline. We'll see what's going on. Not a lot of trades announced this morning. A lot of confusion as well on the James Van Riemsdyk front. Okay, so Horn out of the Flames. I'm sorry, Horn of the Leafs for Hunt. All right, that's done. So now we'll end up seeing let's see. Okay, so yeah, all right. I think we're done, right? Isn't it 3 o'clock? All right, 30 seconds. We'll stay on the screen. We'll full screen it as well. Stay on the screen. So a trade is not allowed to be put in the queue at NHL headquarters in 21 seconds. You've got 15 seconds in order to call the trade queue. Here we go. 10 seconds. 10. No, we're not going to do that. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There are no more NHL trades until the offseason. That's it. No more trades. We're done. Trade deadline is hit. And that's over. 3 o'clock. Trade deadline's done. All right, so as of right now, no more calls are allowed to be made into the NHL Trade Center. It's done. So let's see now what trades fall out of the queue. Right? Let's see what happens. Stepped away for a minute. Any new trades in the last 3? No. Patrick Brown from Philadelphia to Ottawa. Okay, so we have that trade coming in, but we now see zeros on the NHL trade deadline board on cap friendly, and that's what it is. No full trades have been announced. The Greenway trade still has not been processed. No JVR update, so we're not sure where we're going here. But these are the trades that have been made. If you guys want to go, I'll scroll through a little bit. Scroll through slowly. So these are some of the trades that you guys may have heard about today, and obviously over the last couple of days as well, over the last couple of weeks, obviously. Okay. So yeah, these are some of the trades that have been made. Obviously, like I said before, I'm sure Klingberg's getting traded too. Yeah, and I'm sure JVR is gonna get moved, and I'm surprised Justin Braun hasn't either. I'm surprised Justin Braun hasn't. Alright, so these are some of the trades you guys can see. Or the Ducks are dumb. Yeah, bad move by them if they don't trade that. If they don't trade him. 100% agree with you. So these are some of the trades that have been made over the last couple days. The trade deadline is now officially done, so no more trades are allowed to be put into the queue. Let me tell you, though, this was an exciting deadline. I mean, we still have a couple more hours to see what happens, but this was a very exciting deadline. Absolutely very exciting deadline. A lot of moves made. A lot of moves before the deadline was even hit, you know? Look at this Kane deal. It happened on February 28th. Crazy. Is Bertuzzi any good? Bruins' new guy? Yeah, Bertuzzi's very good. He's very underrated, I think. He's much better than he gets credit for, in my opinion. I think he was like a point-a-game player. Yeah, no, Michael, he's a good player for the Bruins. He's a very good player for the Bruins. I don't know how they got him, but yeah, he's a very good player for the Bruins. It's a great deal. Dude, if I'm Detroit, I'm actually not sure why I would send him to Boston. Even if it's the best deal available, Boston's a top team in your division. You know, you don't want to trade him to that, but it was made. Very weird. Bert is the embodiment of a Bruin. Oh, yeah. He gets hurt a lot, kind of, but he's healthy. If he's a top 6, if he's healthy, he's a top 6 guy. Maybe not in Boston, he's a top 6 guy, but yeah, he definitely has the skill to be a top 6 guy. That's great to hear. Sarcasm, but good for the Bruins. Yeah, no, the Bruins are doing what they need to do, man. The Bruins are doing what they need to do in order to make sure that they have the best chance to win the Stanley Cup this year. Because they're having an historic season. They were the fastest team to, like, forgot how many points, maybe 100. But yeah, it's insane. Respect to Patty Kane, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Alright, so it's 3:03. We're gonna see what kind of other trades have been coming through. As you guys can see, we have these trades on the board. As a New York Ranger fan, respect to the Bruins, yeah, but F. Gritty player, talent, and a whole to other teams. Love to hate him on yours. Very smart with the puck. Small dog in a big dog fight. Yeah, no, Bertuzzi, I like the way he plays. Okay, let's go real quick to Twitter, see what's going on. Wow, and the Flyers ruin it. They didn't trade JVR. Wow. Oh, I don't know if it's. Listen, I don't hate the Flyers. I don't have like, but they stink. What are they doing? How do you not trade James Van Riemsdyk? But you're gonna trade Zach McEwen and get Brendan Lemieux. What are you doing, Chuck Fletcher? What are you doing? You had Braun and JVR for months. I don't know what you. I don't see that. To me, is fireable. That, to me, in my opinion, is fireable because Chuck Fletcher should already have a short leash for that Flyers team. He should already have a short leash. The fact that you did not get anything back in return for James Van Riemsdyk and Justin Braun, and you'll probably lose them this offseason, with how bad you already are, not good. Not good. Not good. Not good. In my opinion, if I'm the Flyers manager, if I'm Flyers ownership, Comcast, ooh, this guy Fletcher's gone tonight. I mean, I know it's not that big of a deal what he did, but he just has not been good in general as a Flyers general manager. He hasn't been good. So I don't know why they still keep him, and that's what happens. Then you miss on a lot of good trades you could have made. JVR was not dealt. Carolina's done for the day. No trades they've made. Okay, so JVR was not dealt. Whatever was possible did not get consummated with Detroit, says Elliot Friedman. Pierre LeBrun says Carolina's done. So they have their team. They're happy. Fletcher's in the boys club. He ain't leaving. That's terrible, then. That's terrible. They're never going to win. They won't ever win. My thought in sitting tradable players, I'm sure making sure players don't get injured. Oh yeah, no, that's what they say. I think, they can't trade a hurt guy. I understand that, yeah. But it could have other unintended consequences. Just never seen it before in the NHL. Seems like more of an NBA move. It is more of like an NBA thing. You would see 100%. The Predators extended Dante Fabro. That's some news for you there. All right, so the Minnesota Wild, the full trade for the Wild and the Greenway deal, obviously, is a 23 second and 24 fifth from Buffalo. And the second round pick is a draft pick that Buffalo got for Eichel. Capitals are done. Capitals are done, team says. No more deals coming in from one of the Capitals reporters. Elliot Friedman said, per Jeff Marek, Rasmus Asplund from Buffalo to Nashville. I actually like Asplund. He's a very good defensive center. So I'm not too sure why Buffalo would want to get rid of him. That's a good deal for Nashville, though. I like that deal for Nashville a lot. Patrick Brown goes to the Senators in exchange for a sixth. JVR says put. Unbelievable. I hope it's a good game tomorrow, too. Rest in peace, the Coyotes. We have our team, so we are good. Yeah, no, the Rangers are good to go. Rangers are good to go. And no Carlson trade either. San Jose, Erik Karlsson, maybe he'd get traded, maybe he wouldn't. He's got way too much of a contract, and no team is taking a chance on that. Really surprised Sherry didn't get moved. Him as well. Caps didn't want to fall too far down, it seems. Not too far from the playoffs. So maybe you keep Sherry. You stay competitive a little bit. It's a good point. True, if we up the physicality and team defense, the Rangers have a great chance to win. You're right, Michael. I absolutely agree with you. Okay. JVR stays put, and the deadline is done. Unbelievable. Franco has not been asked to waive his no trade, and he stays in St. Louis as well. So a lot of the top guys, man, don't get moved. They don't get moved. Besides the Rangers, who is your cup pick right now? Besides the Rangers, go with the Dallas Stars. I'll probably always say Dallas. Did you see the video of JP12 still skating in Oilers gear in Edmonton? Visa issues continue. Really? I did not know that. They actually just put up his photo on NHL Network. I didn't know that. But he's got to keep skating, I guess, right? He's got to keep skating. Guys, if you are enjoying the stream, please remember to leave a like. If you guys are brand new, consider to subscribe. We talk about everything from the New York Rangers to the Arizona Coyotes. We talk about everything. I talk about every team you guys want. I'll give you guys my opinion. We'll have a discussion. I love doing it. I love you guys. Don't forget to leave a like and show your support. I really do appreciate your support. Can we see the Maple Leafs again? What do you want to see? What do you want to see, we love? Why don't you think the Flyers didn't trade JVR? I feel like it's because there's no need right now since they won't make the playoffs unless I miss something. Well, I think the Flyers trading JVR, there's no excuse for not trading him because you're not making the playoffs. And I mean, Braun maybe, but JVR, man, he's got a big contract. He's a very good player. He was having a decent season this year. Very surprised they weren't able to retain half of his salary, maybe send him to another team, get another team to retain 25%. A very, very, very strange by Philadelphia. Not a masterclass at all by Chuck Fletcher. Unless, I pray that the Rangers extend Heedle, Laffy, and Keandre in the offseason, despite winning the cup or not. No chance Vladdy and Kaner are staying. Joystick, I can see them maybe making Kaner or Tarasenko, one of them, a priority. Who knows? They might not bring either of them back, like you said. James VR seemed perfect guy for the Jets. Okay, Jaron, let me. Okay, would you rather have, if you're the Winnipeg Jets, Nino Niederreiter at his contract, which is $4 million, or would you have JVR, even half is 3.5, but then you'd have to give up more to maybe try to get the retention done to another team? But you're right, he could have been a good fit in Winnipeg, but I think with the way that the money wanted to work, I'll find it here. I'll find it. I promise I'll find it. It's before that. It's after that. Boom, right there. Second round pick. Oh. There. Second round pick. That's all they had to give up, Winnipeg. Who knows what Philadelphia was asking for JVR. Maybe that's why Detroit backed out of it. I'd rather have Nino Niederreiter, if I'm Winnipeg, at $4 million to be a depth piece. Is Winnipeg gonna win the cup? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Is Winnipeg gonna win the Stanley Cup? No, no. Okay. You know anything about what the Rangers can do during the deadline? Yeah, Maddie, it looks like they're done. I believe they're done. I believe the New York Rangers are done. And Rasmus Asplund is getting traded from Buffalo to Nashville. I don't like that. I mean, unless Asplund is completely regressed, but from what I remember, he was a very good defensive center. So if that's still the case, then it's a good trade by Nashville. Yeah, that trade can be found up here, actually. Hold on. Okay, finally, the Greenway deal has been announced. It's Greenway to Minnesota, Greenway to Buffalo in exchange for a second and a fifth. Are the Wings done? I believe the Detroit Red Wings are done. Yes, the Detroit Red Wings are done. The Capitals announced they're done. The Hurricanes have announced they're done. Not the Capitals. The Hurricanes. I think the Rangers are done. Carolina. Toronto. Minnesota. Calgary. I think those teams have announced that they're done. And Detroit. Can you see the Maple Leafs trades? Sure, we can bring up some of the Maple Leafs trades. If you guys want to watch a video, I did most of their trades on a video. If you guys want to go watch that. So they got Dryden Hunt. They traded away Dryden Hunt for Zahora. They traded away a 3rd round pick for Luke Shen. A 3rd round pick they got back for Engvall. They traded away Sandin, but they got Gustafsson in a 1st. They've traded for Jake McCabe and Sam Lafferty. Depth pieces for them as well. And then obviously the huge trade with O'Reilly and Achari getting sent from St. Louis through Minnesota to Toronto. And like I said before about the Leafs, I think this is the best Leafs team we've seen since they've been starting to make the playoffs again. All they need to do is play some good defense, and I think they could take down Tampa Bay in round 1. I do. Klingberg to Minnesota? No, really? I believe it. Besser and JT Miller are still Vancouver Canucks. Just so you guys know. Told James Van Riemsdyk not traded. Okay. I have not seen that Klingberg the mini yet. I see it now. The Ducks just get it in under the wire. And you know what? They're lucky. Because they had to trade Klingberg. They had to trade and they get it in just in time. It's Klingberg to Minnesota. It's John Klingberg to Minnesota. The Minnesota Wild get an offensive defenseman. Somehow they still are able to keep his contract underneath the cap. They acquired a lot of contracts, Minnesota. Billy Guerin weaponizing that cap space. They're somehow still able to fit a big contract under the cap in Klingberg. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, so Capitals are done. Carolina's done. Okay. Wow, Klingberg to the Wild. Yep, I'll bring up the initial tweet. I'll bring up the tweet from Pierre LeBrun. Haven't showed him too much today. John Chance, I appreciate the sub. Welcome to the channel. Thank you so much. Do you like the Larkin deal? The extension, yeah. Yeah, I love that for him and Detroit. Klingberg to Mini. Who had it first in the chat? Let's see. Klingberg to Mini. Connor. First Connor Gaffney, the first one. Can you make post-game analysis videos? I would love to watch them. I used to do them. I actually just did one to last night's game against the Senators. That was uploaded this morning if you want to go watch that. Klingberg to the Wild. Yep. Richie for Richie. Calgary in Arizona. Really? Richie brothers traded for each other. Wow. Jaron with a call on that. Connor too. Oh, wow. That's a cool trade. That's a cool trade. The Richie brothers traded for each other. That's awesome. All right, cool. Let's, real quick. Let's see what Twitter, because this is usually when you see a lot of the trades, like, fly in. Okay, so actually, Stetcher and Richie are going together in the trade for Mackey and Richie. There you go. Brett Ritchie for Nick Ritchie and Stetcher for Mackey. All right. Very funny. All right. Any other trades have been put through cap friendly? Okay. Little shock, Perron, Zadina, and Suter. I'm actually surprised they wanted to trade Pius Suter. Why? Is it Perron? Maybe. I'm surprised too. We're never guys in trade talks for the. A little shock. Perron, Zadina, or Suter were never. Oh, they were never talked about trades. That makes sense. I feel like Suter's still good. I don't know. I feel like they still can use him. Detroit. Maybe he was in the deal going back to Philadelphia. Maybe, who knows? Who knows? All right. So still no trade update on that yet. Yes, the Pens did trade for Nick Bonino. Great trade for them. 3-way deal. Got him under the cap. Familiarity with the Penguins as well. He's won cups with them. It's great. Suter is a solid third, fourth line center or winger. That's what I'm saying, man. I don't know. You don't just give up a guy on that. I mean, what is he, like 26 now? But, you know, still. Zadina is a guy who could use a change of scenery. Yeah, him definitely. I know that. I heard he had a really bad year this year. When the Rangers played Detroit, of course he scored, but they were saying how he's had such a tough year. I believe that too. You know, I believe that. All right. The Minnesota Wild, man, I don't know if you can really count them out in the West, though. You know, they make this deal now for Klingberg. They get a little deeper on that back end. You never know. Why didn't the NHL suspend Watson? There's no consistency in the NHL. That's why. It's unfortunate, Chance. What is the best trade in your opinion? Ooh. In terms of maybe putting a team over the top, I think the O'Reilly deal to Toronto is fantastic. I just love the way he plays, and I think he fits perfectly in Toronto. So I think that is very big. I think if we look back at the end of the season, talk about trades that really worked out, we talk about that one. I think the Tarasenko one to the Rangers is really good. I think that provides a lot of depth scoring there, and then they obviously added Kane too, so who knows what happens there. How do the Pens have a million 30-year-olds? They always do, man. Who's your conference final and Eastern and Western Conference picks after seeing these trades? I'm still going to go with from the East, Boston. From the West, maybe Vegas now, since they got a top goalie. Or, I mean, an old top goalie. I like also the move they made for Barbashev. I love that trade for them. I think he could provide really good depth scoring. Has Vegas had the depth scoring they had ever since they went to the playoffs in the first year, the first Stanley Cup final? You know, have they ever had that depth? You know, I'm not too sure. Value-wise, I think Horat to the Islanders is the best. They didn't give up a ton. True, value-wise, yeah. They obviously, the roster player exchange there was Beauvillier. So, yeah, you're right. You know, I think you'd trade Beauvillier for Horvat any day, right? Many traded Greenway to free up cap space for Klingberg, and it was last minute. Very true. Barbashev, very sneakily underrated. Yeah, Michael, nothing for the Rangers. It looks like on deadline day, it looks like they were done. Okay, so the official trade now has gone through for Sundqvist. It's a 2023 fourth-round pick getting traded to Detroit in exchange for Oscar Sundqvist, who was traded to the St. Louis Blues, from the St. Louis Blues in the Brandon Saad deal. Wow, I just said Brandon Saad. In the Nick Leddy deal. So, yeah. In the Nick Leddy deal. I don't know where I got Brandon Saad from, but Sundqvist is going from St. Louis to Detroit to Minnesota over the last 2 years, so and then they also get John Klingberg, so a couple Swedes go to the Minnesota Wild to try to get them over the top. Call me crazy, but I think Boston is a tad overrated. I think they're dominating in the regular season because it's a team of guys who have been playing together for a really long time. They're great, but I think the Rangers have a real chance against them. I like the way you're thinking, Chance. I like the way you're thinking. Two best teams in the East. I'll go with the Rangers and Bruins. Maybe the Devils. Or Canes. The East is so good. The East is so good. Gotta go. Please make a vid about the Maple Leafs. If there is another big trade, I will. We love sports. I will. I'm gonna have to go do the stream and then talk about all the trades that, you know, get processed through and all that. But we have plenty of time for that. We have plenty of time for that. Okay. So the Patrick Brown deal is done. The Sundqvist deal is done. Minnesota for Klingberg. That is done, but not official. I don't have the official deal yet. Johansson is a Swede too. You're right. Yeah, they got 3 of them. They got 3 of them. Very cool. Does Toronto make it out of the first round? Yes. The Toronto Maple Leafs will make it out of the first round this year. Promise. That's a guarantee. That's my prediction. I think Toronto makes it out of the first round this year. Even if they go up against Tampa Bay, I think they're good enough to beat Tampa Bay this year. I just think they've been different. Speaking of Vegas in depth, does Nolan Patrick play? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's still playing for them. I think we'll be able to outscore our problem, but wait, I think we'll be able to outscore our problems, but not if we give 19 giveaways. Yeah, last time was sloppy, man. Last time was bad. Surprised Florida didn't make any cap moves with Duclair, and Hornquist supposed to be back soon. I thought Duclair was back. I thought Duclair may have already been announced back. Nothing. Ooh, Phil from who? All right, so the Ritchie brothers traded for. That's pretty funny. I don't think we're gonna have any big any more deals. I think everything that we've seen is what we've seen so far. You know, you wait a few minutes and then we gotta wait until the trade queue to update. Trade queue comes in. Yeah. Also on the Rangers, who do you want in the first round, Jersey or Carolina? Either of them. People were asking me the same thing about Pittsburgh last year. Who would I rather have round one, like Pittsburgh, or I think it was Washington, or someone. I don't care. I really don't care. The Rangers are gonna have to go through these teams anyway, I think. But I think, you know, the best chance if you wanted to go up against the Devils or Hurricanes, I'm not too sure. I can't really say. I just want them to, you know, win. I really don't care who they play. Rangers and Leafs in the conference finals this year. Would love that. Shots, Calgary was so quiet. I think the biggest move is get rid of Sutter. Nothing more from the Rangers? Yeah, no, Phil. Nothing more from the Rangers, it looks like. It looks like they are done. Of course, they have a couple guys coming back, though. They have Lindgren and Miller coming back over the next week. So, yeah, it looks like nothing else is updated here. With the Devils, I'll take whoever. Just glad they're back in it. Yeah, I remember I was getting asked a lot last year about, you know, do you want the Penguins, or I forgot which other team it was. It might have been Washington. But I was like, I don't care. I was like, even when the Rangers, I remember being asked about, I think the second round too. It's like, would you rather face Carolina or Boston? I was like, I want the Rangers to win. It doesn't matter who they play. They should be able to beat every single team. You know, that's where I think they can really shine, is that I think they can beat every single team in a 7-game series. I think they're that good. I think the Rangers defense sure has been a problem, but you just can't. You gotta hope it's not that bad. And Igor's gonna be Igor in the playoffs. He is. Jaron, I appreciate you coming out, man. Thanks for the sub. Hope you can go live a little more in the future. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming out. I will try. Edmonton is overrated this year. They're always overrated. You think they should change the layout into the playoffs because the East is way better than the West? If that's the reason, because the East is so good, then I don't think they should. I don't know. The playoff format's fine. I mean, I think you can get the same matchups anyway. Unless you don't want East versus West, then you gotta throw it out the window. You know, if you don't want to have East versus West, then you gotta throw that whole thing out the window, in my opinion. I do like the format. Yeah, I'm fine with the format. I have no problem. I've got no problem. Alright, let's see if there's any more trades. Nothing. JVR obviously stayed. Okay. The Montreal Canadiens are done as well. Alright. I think that might be all we see. I feel like that might be it. Because it's 3:30 now, so usually by like 4 o'clock everything's done. I like the playoff format. 2 to 3 in the East is going to be amazing because of it, yeah? How long do you think it's going to take for the Rangers pieces to mold together? Hopefully a couple weeks. I'm hoping after next week. You know, they play these games this week. Boston tomorrow. Montreal next week. And hopefully the week after that, they're like, you know, starting to get going as we creep towards the early April already at that point. Mid-March. You know? Maybe adopt a play-in tournament like the NBA. I actually don't like that at all. I don't like the play-in at all. I think if you're good enough to make the playoffs, you should be in the playoffs. If you're not, you're not. That's what I think. I think the play-ins are stupid because, first of all, I think there's a perfect amount of teams in the playoffs. There's half the league making the playoffs in the NHL. You don't need more teams for a play-in either. I think in terms of points, wouldn't it make sense to see a team with 70 or so in the East not make it because of how stacked it is, but a team with, well, I don't think a team with 60 points in the West is going to make it. I hope a few more points they make it. But I know what you mean, Michael. I know exactly what you mean. Because you are right. The Caps and Penguins might not make the playoffs yet. They're still going to have a lot of points, man. They're going to definitely be better than some of the teams in the West. The bubble was cool, but it was so dumb seeing Montreal played Pittsburgh. Even the Rangers in that was unnecessary. I think right there, the NHL kind of proved that they should not do like a play-in. I think it's stupid. Power play was extremely rough last night, but once Kane gets comfortable with the shooting, the power play is going to be sexy. I believe that too, Chance. I believe that too. I believe that as well. All right, so yeah, Asplin is going to Nashville, by the way. I'm not sure how defensively good he's been this year. Oh, wow. All right, so the Ducks are retaining half of the contract. Look at this trade. Wow, this is... It's Klingberg to Minnesota. They're sending a 4th and 25. Andre Schuster. And the rights to Nestorenko. And I don't know too much about him. And the Ducks are retaining half of the salary. So it's a good trade by Minnesota, I think. I think that's a good trade, right? I actually want to see if that's been approved yet by the NHL. Not yet. Okay. Not yet. So it's 4. I said it's actually a little underwhelming, I think. Right? You know, Nestorenko, I mean, they're talking about, and I don't know anything about Nestorenko, but it looks like that's kind of the biggest piece going back for Anaheim. Because it looks like Minnesota didn't want to give up a first-round pick, or maybe nobody themselves wanted to give up a first-round pick. But now Klingberg goes to Minnesota. Minnesota says Nestorenko goes back, his rights. So we'll see. That's a massive W for the Wild. Huge W. They gave up nothing. Billy Guerin is becoming just as good of a GM as he was a hockey player, man. I'm telling you. Minnesota Wild, scary. They're scary. They just gotta win now, I think. Team is set now. We have a set team unless they get injured. I saw you say that. No more changing the lines. Once everyone... if Kane isn't really gelling well with Panarin, I want to see Tarasenko and Kane switch. Remain the kid line for now, I think. You scared of the Wild? They're a good team, man. They just gotta start winning now. They gotta just put that together. They gotta put it together. They got a good coach. They got the superstar in Kaprizov. Former New York Ranger Matt Zuccarello, how you doing? Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Wow, Winnipeg had some interest in JVR, so that's some false to that. That's interesting. What do you think if they put Vadi and Kane together on the same line? Well, they're both primarily right-wing dominant, so one of them has to be comfortable on the left side. Maybe Kane? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know. I feel like maybe keep them separate. Keep those two separate. Kreider and Kane playing on the same line. Well, not now, but we could see that. Could see that. Ken Holland is giving a press conference about Ekholm. All right. Yeah, looks like no other trades have really been announced, so. Keep Brett and Kane together. I like that too. I like that too. I like that. All right. I think it's done. If it's not, I'll be very upset. I'll wait until it's 3:30 now. 3:30 now. Alright, we'll stay on for a little bit. I mean, I'm in no rush, but trying to make sure that's maybe something. No, Justin! Come on! YouTube stinks sometimes with the notifications. I apologize, Justin. They have to, haha, but whatever they got to do to win games. There's a lot of good combos for our team. Just trying to find the right lines is tricky, true. How much of a significant difference does Lindgren make when he's on the ice? Well, you know what's funny? Yeah, this team plays essentially amazing. They play amazing when Lindgren's in there. They play incredible when Lindgren is in there. When he's not, then there's a problem. I think him coming back is just an extra body, too, at this point. You know, you get the body back, and same with Miller, if he can come back, or if Lindgren can come back, and obviously you get Miller back, too. I'm sorry, Justin. I'm sorry, man. And we're going to end soon, too, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Favorite football team? I don't have one. I mean, I do like the Cowboys, but not a big football fan. Don't really like the sport at all. Can we trade for a new coach that decides to play Igor back-to-back? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Hellebuck proved that you could play back-to-back, but it looks tired. The whole team looks tired, so I'm fine with that. And sitting Igor for last line, especially against a team in Ottawa. They're looking to make the playoffs, but they're not really there yet, so it's all right. Any chance we re-sign Lindgren? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that would make Adam Fox pretty happy, too. Rangers can't be giving up here, but the defense needs to turn around. Yeah, I agree with you there. Dominic. All right. Yeah, it looks like nothing else is coming through. I feel like we would have already heard at least one other trade by now, because it doesn't take this long for them to, happen. What do you think about Mika playing on the bumper on the power play? Almost 2 stacked on PP1. I'd rather see Mika playing on the wall with his 1T. I'd rather see him on the 1T too. Yeah, but there's too much firepower. Alex Chiasson signed in Detroit just now. Quick update. Gotta go now. Appreciate that, Jaron. I'll see you soon. Was Chiasson? Was he a free agent? I'm confused. Do you mean got traded to, or? Chiasson. Alex Chiasson. How about that? 1-way contract for Chiasson. Okay. Just sign an NHL deal with us. Cool. Lindgren's an excellent shot blocker. Great at getting the puck out of the defensive zone. Yeah, it'd be huge. You gotta bring him back as soon as you can. Going to Florida tomorrow. I gotta catch a Mets spring training game. Very cool. That's dope. I'm going to Montreal next week. I'm very excited. Sunquist replacement. Brian, what's going on? Yeah, listen, the Rangers made some great moves. They did. They got Kane, they got Tarasenko, and you gotta hope they just gel. I wouldn't call it a super team. I wouldn't. I'd never call them that, but they're pretty stacked offensively. They gotta score goals. Michael with some jokes. All right. Okay, I think that's it. I don't want to pull the trigger too early, but I do want to start making some of these videos. I should also go eat. I had not eaten a single thing. I had off from work today. I had not eaten a single thing. I woke up at like noon. I showered. I slept like 14 hours. I fell asleep like, I didn't stream obviously after the game. I did the reaction video. It was like 10:30 or 10:30, 11 o'clock. Fell asleep and I didn't wake up till 12 the next day. I was exhausted last night. Miller gets bad, 3-game suspension too. Yeah, hopefully he can come back against Montreal and pick up where he left off defensively. Thank you for going live. Go take care of yourself, man. We love you. Can't wait to have tomorrow. Goes, yeah, Michael, thank you. I am going to head going. Great. I mean, listen, I am so thankful for every single one of you guys for coming on here, showing your support. If you guys didn't leave a like already, please make sure to leave a like. I'm going to go eat and go relax. Then I'm going to make some videos for you guys. What do we got tomorrow? Rangers and Sabres. Rangers and Bruins. Okay, we got that coming up. That is tomorrow, 1 o'clock, nationally televised. We will have a reaction video right here. Maybe a little live stream as well. But if you guys want to go watch another video, I'm going to be posting a lot of videos today. So guys, stick to it. Maybe a pregame, postgame tomorrow. We'll see. But other than that, I'll see you guys later. It was a great trade deadline. I hope every single one of you guys enjoyed. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching again.